Welcome to Nitpicking Nerds. Today, we're discussing the ban list.
Specifically, what cards would we unban and what cards would we ban?
I'm your host, Joe Cherries.
I'm your host, BZ, and that makes us the Nitpicking Nerds. We've talked about the ban list forever ago. Like our first 1,000 or 2,000 subscribers might know about that, but we wanted to restate our positions, and our positions on something have changed.
Yes. So what we're going to do is we're going to hop right into everything. We're going to look at all the ban lists. We'll go over every card. Some of them will be really quick because obviously there's some that are on the list and they deserve to be there. But before we begin, check out our Discord. What else? Twitter.
My shout-out powers are gone.
Twitter, Discord, whatever you want. Check out all the stuff in the links in the description. But we're hopping into this video. The very first cards we're going to go over, Power 9. Recall, Lotus, Time Walk, and the Moxons. I think these are perfectly... They're all one... I don't even know if Moxons are too powerful. Doesn't even come close to mattering here.
Accessibility.
Accessibility is not there. And as long as the reserve list is there, which that's a discussion for another day. As long as it exists, these cards deserve to be banned. That being said, we will also throw in that the other Power 9 card, Time Twister, should 100% be banned with these.
Why is it not banned? What? I mean, we're going to go ban cards, and then we'll get back to this and cover it later, cards we unban, but get ready for that because it's happening. Balance is next. Balance says everyone's got to sacrifice down to the least number of things. So, you lose all your lands and all your cards.
Let's be clear what the problem is here. It costs 2 mana.
2 mana. This was 8 mana. All right, that's not really that effective. You have 8 lands, 7 or 8 lands most likely. It's not going to be a huge problem. The Magus of the Balance was fine. It's 2 mana creature and then it sacks for 5. No one's complaining about that card. It came out a few years ago.
Same thing with what's the other one?
Restore Balance? The Suspend one?
The Suspend one. Same thing. There's no problem with the card. The problem is it's too easy to combo with. It's way too easy to put something together. It probably literally in Magic combos with like 100 different cards.
How about Teferi's Protection?
Just absolutely completely silly. Oh, wow. Teferi's Protection. That's actually stupid.
You have no permanents.
Wow. I didn't even think about that. That's completely silly. Yeah.
Yeah. Balance, totally justified. Next one, maybe not so much. Biorhythm. 8 mana for a sorcery. Each player's life total becomes equal to the number of creatures they control. This is banned because, I don't know, we don't agree with it. We think that this is a splashy, high-impact card that doesn't necessarily win you the game and can completely and utterly backfire if you cast it and your creatures go away at instant speed.
This card is good. This card is strong. It's very strong. But maybe their thought is it ends too many games and draws to stuff or whatever. I just don't agree with it. There's too many. The thing is, if someone casts this card, yeah, I'm okay with maybe dying to it, and that might happen. But when someone casts a Protein Hulk, I'm just scared the whole table's going to lose every time I see Protein Hulk.
Immediately. I think that there's a creature with Biorhythm on a stick that's better than the card Biorhythm, and that card has not really frustrated me that much. And I've lost to it, and it's totally fine.
Yeah, that card is sweet. Shaman of the Forgotten Ways.
Well, we should call it Magus of the Rhythm.
Magus. This is the rhythm of the night. Not gonna join me?
No.
Okay. Next is Braids, Cumberhall, Minion. This is 2 black for a 2/2, and at the beginning of each player's upkeep, they sacrifice an artifact, creature, or land.
This used to be banned as commander, right? And then they got rid of that, so they switched. Like Kakusha was banned as commander, but then they unbanned it, and this went the other way. It just stayed banned, right?
Yeah, this one is like on the fence. I could easily see why it's banned and why it can stay banned, but also I wouldn't really have a problem with it. This is one of those cards I feel like where the formula regulates itself. No one's going to play this realistically. When you sit down at the table, your friend's not going to pull out their Braids Cabal Minion deck because that's just not what people like. Your play groups are self-regulating. It's so important about EDH Rule 0, where it's like basically Braids is going to be banned anyway. So I could see why it's banned there, but I could also see unbanning it too.
I also think metagames evolve. If somebody wants to bring their Braids deck, I literally won't stop them at all. Wow, this deck kind of feels bad to lose too, but my friends and my opponents can play whatever they want. It doesn't bother me that they're trying to win. If I really had to, I'll pack 2 more instant speed removal spells and my matchup against it will get better because at 6 mana, this isn't doing anything. And I think when we get to what we would ban, this card isn't a problem at all in that format.
Yeah, that might
After our ban list is in effect, which I'm sure it will be. Wizards will watch this and be like, we
They're going to
We
hire
were
us.
wrong the whole time.
Yeah, they're going to hire us immediately. We're going to become the new rules committee as soon as this video airs.
Yes, absolutely.
Next, Chaos Orb. This one's stupid. You can read what it does really quick. It's on the screen.
It's not a magic card.
It's not a magic card. It doesn't play like a magic card, and it's kind of just silly.
It's right there with the anti cards. You can't. It's not a magic card, so it can't be in the format.
I would unban this card if, in the case of uncards, would be legal.
Right.
Because I think it's pretty much an uncard.
Yeah, and I mean, you understand that when you play with this card, you can only play it once because it rips itself up.
It doesn't,
So,
it doesn't have to.
right, it doesn't have to, but maybe like you just go in understanding that. Why would you rip up your own card? Call their bluff and just say it's illegal.
I mean, if they rip it up, then they don't get to use that ever again. Yeah, that's what literally happened in the past.
Somebody like protecting players because we think they don't know better enough to not rip up their cards.
I mean, if this is tournament legal, I would rip it up to win a tournament. Yeah, like I'm totally going for that.
But now your deck's illegal.
Well, you just bring enough Chaos Warps to replace them.
I want to see that mini game happen. So maybe no, it's banned. It's not a real card. Next.
Coalition Victory. This is 3 in Wooburg. You win the game if you have one of each basic land type and a permanent of each color. This card seems so reasonably fine.
It's a big splashy thing that doesn't say you win the game, period. It's only in 5 color decks. You have to have, even if you have, Naked Dry Boy and a 5 color token out. Okay, well now you met the criteria. This is a 3-card combo that can be broken up by a removal spell.
Yes, I don't see any problem with this card. I don't even think it's busted. I don't think it's broken. I think it's just fine. And
I think it's just bad. I just don't think it would see any play. Maybe, like you could build around it's like happily ever after.
Well, I like it, and I think it's playable. I wouldn't I think that the deck goes all in on this, and you're just gonna play like ways to find it. So
yeah, but it's not just I'm playing 5 color. Well, I guess I'll add my Coalition Victory. It's a free roll. It's like no, it's not.
Yeah, no, not at all. But I would unban it because I think it's just fun and silly.
I think it's just a bulk rare from an old set that people would enjoy.
Yep, exactly. Next channel. Okay, banned.
Stay banned. How many left do we start at? All right, we'll keep it banned.
Yeah, you could literally make. Just think of the possibility is literally you could go turn 1, make 39 mana. That's already I don't need to tell you what you can do with 39 mana. It's that stupid.
Right. And play 1 mana rock and now you have any spell that you could conceivably cast. Channels is so stupid. Next is when we talked about our position is definitely different last time than our last video. Emrakul the Aeon's Torn. It's a 15/15 for 15 mana. Cast trigger, extra turn, flying, protection from colored spells, Annihilator, 6, and then it can't go to the graveyard, but it could be your commander. We would actually unban this.
Yeah, I'd unban it. I just don't think it's that busted. Maybe the problem is the counter thing, not being able to be countered.
It KOs one player, kinda. Well, I mean, it depends, because in commander, we have to assume maybe it's your commander, and then you can power it out on like turn 8 or 9, but then I don't know. This one's weird. This card is probably more fun than Emrakul the Promised End.
Yeah,
which is legal.
Which that card is super silly and a lot easier to cast. I don't know. Maybe there is argument here. I've never played against Emrakul. This might be a card that's like super oppressive. Actually,
I think in our format maybe we would go, all right, guys, tentative unban on Emrakul. We'll reevaluate in a week.
Yeah, exactly. It's like maybe it is too powerful, but it's tough to tell. And I think, this could be one that the rules committee just has more information. I've never played against this card, so I'll never know. Unless it's unbanned, I'm never gonna know actually, because no one's gonna play the Emrakul deck when it's banned.
Yeah, maybe there's too much opportunity for like sneak and show stuff, but who's to say? Erio Soratami Ascendant is a 2-mana 2/1. When you play your 4th spell, you flip it, and then whenever anyone else plays their 1st spell, you counter it. I think I would unban this one pretty easily. I see the argument. It's an unfun card when it flips, but you gotta flip it. And I think if this dies once, there's no issue.
I disagree with you on this one. I just would leave this one banned. If the decks that are able to, the deck is going to go all in on flipping it, and it's going to shut players down for so long.
It could. It depends, because I mean, it turns into an enchantment. It's not like an emblem or anything. It's just a creature that you have to probably untap with. I mean, you're not playing 5 spells on turn 2.
Yeah, but it's just because it's not on turn 2. Turn 4 for this is still really insane. In order to cast any spell, your opponents have to resolve something first every single time, no matter when it happens or when. And it leads me. Okay, your head reminds me of a Splinter Twin kind of thing in Modern, where it's like, sure, yeah, this thing is very answerable, but it's like it's forcing you to leave up removal because on turn 4 there's a real potential for them to go like get probe and a couple other things and flip it very easily, and that puts the whole table in this position where it's like that person's going to run away for the next 3-4 turns until we can compile an answer together.
So I would unban it. Joe would ban it. I think what would end up happening, we come to a stalemate and it stays banned.
Yeah, I just think this is one I would leave banned personally.
All right, Falling Star is not a real magic card. You have to, I think, tear it into pieces just like Chaos Orb. So that stays banned. Fast Spawn, what about that one?
Fast Spawn lets you just put all your lands from your hand into play.
But you pay life.
This card's busted. There's nothing even to go over here because it's insane how much this card can put you ahead. It so good.
Throw out like a Tatiova. See what happens.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Flash is a card that was recently banned. It's 1 in a blue for an instant. You can throw a creature out, then it's sacrificed unless you pay a reduced mana cost. But with Protean Hulk, that was the Boogeyman combo in CDH. So they banned Flash.
Disagree. I would ban Hulk because I think it's the problem. The only reason I could see banning Flash, and this would be this is something I would say if Wizards made the ban list. If there's a design space they want to keep going with, then I understand. It's like, say they have ideas for like cards like this, that flashing in would be super cool.
Similar, like cards like Protean Hulk or cards like Flash?
They'd be cards like Protean Hulk. So it's like things that Flash can abuse. Say they were in that design space, but that's not. The rules committee is separate from Wizards.
Yeah.
So that's not the case. So I think that I would just reverse this. Flash is a do-nothing card without Protean Hulk.
Yeah,
really.
Flash has never done anything without Protean Hulk, I don't think. I mean, obviously.
It probably has other combos.
Yes, it has done some things, but it's not a busted card in any sense. I think what happened, if I'm thinking about it now, is they're okay with Protean Hulk being legal for whatever reason that might be. Like, I don't know what that is, but they're okay with Protean Hulk being legal, and Flash was sort of like, they, for some reason, didn't want to ban Hulk. I don't know why, because they must be, like, they're still deciding. They decided to unban it, and now they're still okay with it. So like, okay, we have to throw a bone to the CADH community again for some reason. I don't know why. So we'll ban Flash, but I don't get it.
My real issue here with the whole Flash thing is that Hulk just comes in and it dies. And often, depending on the combo, if you have the right combo in your deck, you get to just make it so they can't interact because they get Grand Abolisher often.
Right.
And it's like, that is such, and like, that's Hulk's problem. That is not a Flash problem.
No, it's the instant speed search problem where it's like, oh, Court of Calling. Oh, I didn't know you were going to get that. I'll respond. It's like, no, you're not.
No, you're not. It's my turn, and I'm just going to now finish this combo with whatever. I don't know all the Hulk piles. There's a million of them.
Yeah, there's 1,000.
It's just, I think the card is too good.
Yep.
Next is Gifts Ungiven. This is simple. This is search for 4 cards with different names. Reveal them, then an opponent gives you 2 and puts 2 in your graveyard. My issue with this card being banned is Impulse isn't banned. Consistency.
You mean Intuition?
Intuition, sorry, yes. Intuition, rather.
That searches for 3, 2 go in the yard, 1 goes in your hand.
These are, and they don't have to have different names, but that doesn't matter for EDH, obviously.
Yeah, it's implied.
So
what? How is a 4-mana tutor at instant speed where you can, let's say to the max, you get 2 cards with, you get Dread Return in your graveyard, and you get some dumb creature in your graveyard that you're going to reanimate, and then you get, you could just do that and get nothing else. Flash it back, sacrifice 3 creatures, or you could de-tutor for 2 cards, and I don't see how this is remotely as strong as the other tutors.
I think something about this, I might just, so for the sake of, like, when we're going to be talking about our bans, I might leave it banned because with what the cards that we're banning, that makes a lot more sense.
Maybe. And then throw Intuition on there?
Yeah, exactly. And then throw Intuition with it. And I would like going that way because something we're going to discuss in a little bit is how we think the high-power tutors are.
We would consider banning them at least.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to get into that. But next, Gristlebrand, busted. Don't need to talk about it. Iona, BZ would unban it. I wouldn't because I don't like the lock. I really, really, really hate the idea of one player ever being locked out like that if you're playing a mono deck. And I just don't. And I get that this card's not busted. I don't think it's broken. I think it is unfun enough to stay banned.
Yeah, well, where do you stand on land destruction? Because we wouldn't ban Armageddon. Or would you ban Armageddon? Or like Boil. That's a one-sided nonsense card.
Yeah, those cards are. But here's the difference. There is those cards have way more situations where they're bad.
Yeah, I feel like Iona has a lot of situations where it's bad because it's a 9-mana thing that doesn't win you the game. It just can hurt people.
Yeah, I don't think it's as many, and also it's easier to cheat out and play than the other ones.
Yeah, well, I think I would take off Iona. I don't think it was doing that much in the format. Joe, keep it banned. Next, Krakus. That bounces legendary creatures. There's 4 in every game. Next, on to Leovold, Emissary of Trust. This one's really annoying. I think I would leave it banned.
Oh, 100%. I'm not
It's
even
just lame.
Not even close to unbanning it. If it just Narset, what it is now, could be in your command zone, I'd ban that card. There's no way. It's just not fun.
It's stupid. It's in the 3 best colors. It's like the 3 best effects we've ever seen on a Magic card. Get it out of the stupid format.
Another thing, if Narset, or not Narset, if Notion Thief was a legend, I would ban it. I would not leave that as a legend.
Oh, it has Flash? Oh, man.
It'd be stupid. It having Flash, so you build your deck to just be a black-blue Flash deck, and your opponents can do nothing.
Ever.
They can never draw a card because then you draw that card. It'd be so silly.
Silly. Utterly silly. Next is Library of Alexandria. This one's banned for the accessibility, so as long as that's a consistent rule, I'm fine with it. This card doesn't do anything if it was, a common from a set.
Yeah. Library of Alexandria seems good.
No chance that it's a power ban. It's a availability ban.
This card is very good, and definitely leave it banned for the accessibility. And this is one of those I've never ever played with this card and have no clue how good it is.
I've seen it played. I don't think it's even that busted in the formats it's legal in anymore.
That's fair. I mean, I'm just saying I don't know how good it would be in EDH.
I'm not a professional, so that's what I've maybe heard. So that's possibly true.
It is hard to judge Library of Alexandria because it's something I will never probably play against, realistically.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll defer to the experts on this one and leave it banned.
Yeah, I just leave that one banned.
Limited Resources. Great podcast. Miserable card. I think we can just move on. It's the cheapest land destruction ever.
Yeah, completely stupid. Lutri, this is a free roll for any blue-red deck, so easy ban.
As a companion, yeah.
It literally is free. You just get a 101st card and for free without any restriction.
Interesting that cards you get to put in your deck for free without any restrictions only have one of those banned. Maybe we'll address that.
What's next?
Panoptic Mirror lets you imprint a card and then in your upkeep you copy it, but it could be Time Warp, and then if you pay 5 mana at sorcery speed, 2 for 1 yourself, and then make it to your next turn, you get infinite turns if no one has any more interaction. I don't understand. If the standard of, let's say, the strongest individual card in the set, just for argument's sake, is Protean Hulk, right? Let's say that's the highest impact single card you can have, which might be true. It dies, you win the game. So that's the level. Anything worse than it dies, you win the game is fine. This is worse than that.
I'm sorry, but this doesn't make any logical sense in my head because I know that it requires slightly more setup.
You need the card in your hand, not just in your deck.
I'm talking about
Isochron Scepter. Dramatic Scepter.
Dramatic Scepter takes a little more setup, but it wins on the turn you do it. This needs a way to hold turn, and
it's clunky.
You need to have both the pieces. They're harder to find. They're not easy. They're like regular tutors get them, but there's not things like Muddle in the mixture to just go find them.
Right. You'd really have to. I'd have to talk to somebody about this because I don't understand. So maybe I'm ignorant on a subject, but 100% right now, I would just completely unban that card. Yep. Next is Paradox Engine, a card that originally we were like, I don't know if I would have banned this, but I kind of like that it's on the ban list now.
It just doesn't. It doesn't add anything positive to the format.
It reduces diversity.
Yeah, I don't think I think his card's really good. I think it's probably on the verge of too good and good, right there. And I think because of the annoyingness that is Paradox Engine with how it combos, you easily can throw it out.
Yeah, I don't miss Paradox Engine for sure.
Not at all.
Right. Primeval Titan has been on the ban list for so long, and I think it's one of those cards the game always revolves around, and it might be in the Lutri area of a free roll where most green decks, that aren't super competitive are going to play it. I'm not sure. I really don't know. It's been a while since we've played Primetime.
Yeah, I don't know either, but it feels like this card generates advantage way too easy and too quickly. It immediately gets you your 2 best lands. Then if you untap, you don't even have to untap with it. It already got you a ton of value.
Yeah.
Now if you untap with it, it gets you 2 more and a huge 6/6 body, which isn't the best thing. I know a 6/6 body isn't
we are not allowed to be seen publicly endorsing a 6/6 body anymore.
When your 6/6 body is getting you 2 lands and not 2 zombies, woo, that's a good 6/6 body.
Prophet of Krufix. That card gives you 4 turns, and I hate it.
Prophet of Krufix is really good.
Get out. You don't belong here.
Yeah, the card is just... this is a card that I've got to see. This is what maybe if I didn't see it, I'd be like, that doesn't seem that insane. But no, it's actually really, really insane. Card is... Oh, God, it's so good. Because it's not like you can only... I think that what would make that card fair and, designing it better is you can only cast creatures now. So that takes away the ability to untap and leave up counter spells on everyone else's turn, which is something that
Well,
card
you can
easily
still do.
Well, I'm saying like if you spend
on this mana only to cast creature spells.
you can
or
only
some weird.
on your opponent's turns you can only cast.
You
creature
can't
spells.
cast non-creatures. It would say you can't cast non-creature spells if it's not your turn. That's what it would.
Yeah, exactly. And like that seems like a way more fair card rather than you get to hold up counters every single turn and advance your board state every single turn.
Honestly, it's Lighthouse Chronologist starting at level 10. If it's not your turn, it is. Recurring Nightmare is another one of those oldies, but is really, really, really good. It just returns itself to its owner's hand. You sack a creature. What's the cost exactly? I
don't know the combos with this. I know Magic well enough to tell you there's a million combos with this card.
I don't need to know.
I don't need to know the ones at the top of my head. This card has to go infinite with a ham sandwich.
Yeah. Rafallos, this is one that I think really would be an issue in the command zone. He makes green for each forest you control, and he's only 2 mana. I think unlike Erio, this is a problem always forever. You have to answer it, or it feels like not exactly channel, but it's like channel with suspend 1.
You pay to just look at the least volatile situation. So it's like forest, Rafallos, 6 mana on turn 3.
Yep.
That's the least. They did nothing. They did nothing, and they get 6 mana on turn 3.
They get a Gilded Lotus in their command zone that only gets better.
Absolutely stupid.
Yeah, nonsense card. Shahrazad, this is the most nonsense card because it starts a subgame. How are you supposed to do that? That is not practical. Get out. Sundering Titan is next. What about Sundering Titan?
This is weird. It feels like if Sundering Titan's banned, then we should be banning things that
are better,
that do land destruction like Armageddon. But
I don't know. Something about Sundering Titan makes me think I would unban it. Although, now we are talking about the new best card in the format with Flash.
Maybe. Oh God, yeah, that'd be silly. Woo! No, so I would say, okay. So say we have banned Flash. There's a 2,000% I leave that banned then.
Right. So we just keep Sundering Titan banned.
So yeah, now so keep Sundering Titan banned because I'm fine with Flash coming back. Yeah, that's stupid. Yeah, that's so good. Turn 2, blow up like
10 lands,
10 permanents,
up to 10, probably like 6.
It doesn't matter.
Only 6 permanents.
Only setting them back to the Stone Age.
Yes. All right. Sway the Stars restarts the game. Who would ever want to play against that? Sylvan Primordial is Prime Titan on complete and utter steroids. If you have not played against this card, it was miserable.
Oh yeah, I played. This just came out when I first started playing EDH. Card is insane. The card you get the body. You destroy 3 things. That's 4. We've got 4 things here.
You get 3 lands that don't have to be basics.
And now you get 3 more lands. That's just 7.
And it's
7,
ETB.
1, and it's so easily abusable.
It's a creature. Discarded, animate, dead it.
Every single time this card came into play, the game revolved around it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. I'll Phantasmal Image it. All right. I don't want to play this game anymore.
Yeah. It was...
It made him yawn. He was bored by just thinking about it.
Yeah, it was really not a fun card. Time Vault.
Accessibility plus power equals goodbye.
It's not even... I don't even care. If this card costs a penny, leave it banned.
I said accessibility plus power.
I don't care. I'm just saying accessibility can be thrown out the window. Like I'm saying, like if it's a penny, card is way too good. Card is so stupid.
Ruin Pauper. Tinker, 2 and a blue for a sorcery, sack an artifact. Put an artifact from your deck just straight into play. I would unban it.
This one's interesting. I think this is another one. There are so many cards in this list that's just like I've never got a chance to see these as a player who came in during Innistrad.
Yeah, best thing to get. I've heard. I think from our last, I'm remembering people were like, "Oh, well, the best thing to get is this, and you just win every time." It's like you get Blightsteel. It's like, yeah.
No, you get. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. This is the
you get Sundering Titan if we unban it.
No, the CDH thing to do is gonna be Bolas' Citadel.
Maybe Bolas' Citadel.
You're just gonna Bolas' Citadel and then go from there.
Honestly, I'm not worried about CDH though. I'm worried about are we ruining the core sit down to play with your friends games.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, I think it's close. I think I'd be willing to give it a try. Yeah, Bolas' Citadel has become one of the best artifacts in the format.
Yeah, I think though the boogeyman would be Blightsteel, and we were never fans of Blightsteel.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like Blightsteel. Blightsteel obviously is much better in a Tinker deck.
For sure.
But I'm not a big fan of that guy. Next, Tolarian Academy. This is Gaia's Cradle, except for it's for artifacts. Broken.
This is so good.
Broken.
Yeah, I don't think this belongs in the format, and it isn't in the format, so it's great. Trade Secrets, Wizards messed up big time because you can draw your whole deck.
Yeah, you and another player can just choose to draw your whole decks.
I don't know why you would. It's just get it out. I'm not doing this. We're not playing this minigame. You missed. Goodbye.
That's a broken card. It's broken in a sense of it's not made correctly.
Right. Upheaval resets the game, but it's super abusable, so you're probably not resetting the game for yourself. So we don't need it in the format. It's 6 mana. Oh, you thought Cyclonic Rift was bad. Oh, boy.
Yeah, better version. Yeah, no. Upheaval's, I don't know what I was going to say. Upheaval is so silly. It restarts the game.
But maybe not for you. So it's probably you just win, because not only do you restart, you go first.
Not only do you, and not only that, not only do you go first in this game,
They have to discard their hand?
They have to discard a ton of cards, and you have a ton of floated mana, because that's what you do with Upheaval decks.
Right, it's only 6. You make 10, float 4, play all your rocks again, back in business.
Upheaval is actually a Simic card. I know it's blue, but it's a Simic card. You ramp yourself to craziness, and then you float infinity mana, and then you bounce everything, and you just win.
Yeah, Mana Vault, Grim Monolith, stuff like that. All right, there's only 2 more.
Then I hit the mic.
Worldfire sets everyone's life to 1, and the game is going to end in about 5 seconds. I'm fine with it being banned. I don't like it at all. Yogmas Bargain is 6 mana for an enchantment. Pay a life, draw a card, skip your draw step.
I would leave this card banned. And
segue
directly into what we would ban: Necropotent. Black for an enchantment. You can pay 1 life to exile the top card of your library face down at the beginning of your end step. You can put those cards get put into your hand that you exile, and you skip your draw step.
Oh
no. This is Yogmas Bargain, except you get them at your end step, and when you discard cards, you get exiled.
I don't think it belongs in the format at all. It feels like a whole nother tier of cards where the early game gets developing, people are playing some spells, and then someone's like, Necropotence. And you're like, oh, we're almost done here. I didn't know that. Turn 3.
Oh, yeah. Necropotence is absolutely silly. I of all the cards that are legal in this format, this might be the one I have the most problems with. It is so clearly so above and beyond the power level of most cards in this format.
It feels obvious, and there's nothing that would be a huge problem if it was banned.
Yeah, like who's gonna be mad? The people who are gonna be mad at this point are the people who invested in it. We've been yelling about this card for years, and
I should have known.
I remember it costing less than Phyrexian Arena, and we were like, what is going on? What is the world coming to?
Is this the end times? We said Time Twister. That one really blows my mind. Can someone please tell me why Time Twister is not banned? Or why it didn't get banned when it went from $2,000 to $5,000? Is it an investment thing? It's the same reason Black Lotus is banned.
Absolutely stupid. I don't get it. Twister should be banned 100%. I like accessibility bans. I agree with them. When there is a huge accessibility problem, like a card like Time Twister, where there's never going to be more Time Twisters than there are now, and there's only going to be more EDH players, get rid of it.
Especially since it's a really good card. Like, it's obviously strong.
It's insane. Yeah, Time Twister is a very, very good card. One of it's in the Power 9.
Right, like it's not only is it good, but you could argue the Moxen are like replaceable, but Twister is not replaceable. It is the cheapest like draw 7 that exists.
Yeah. Absolutely insane. It's just insanely good.
Yeah, the next 2 maybe would be argued upon, but we would think about banning Soul Ring and Manicrypt.
I wouldn't think about it. These ones are slam dunks for me. I think where we get to here is what are the problems with them? Every deck can play them. That's usually the argument. One, Manicrypt's not accessible to really average EDH players. So like not every deck can have it really. Soul Ring, sure, every deck can have it. But on that same note, not every the opening hands that Soul Ring and Manicrypt warp from like average hands to busted hands is way too many.
Think about any YouTube or Reddit comment section where someone says, oh my god, you can do this broken thing on turn 1. Why can you do the broken thing on turn 1? It's not because of this new commander that just got spoiled. It's because you're playing their fictitious turn 1 starts with Soul Ring, Mana Vault, some other dumb thing, and you're like, okay, well, that's the issue. I think the problem is deck diversity. I really do not like decks starting at 98 or 97 cards or 95 cards with whatever, because something else is an auto include completely, like Lutri. That's why we got rid of it.
Yeah, it just seems really simple to me here that Soul Ring I don't know. I feel like everyone's had to have seen this with Soul Ring, where the player who goes and plays on turn 1 just advances so far into the game. And yeah, it doesn't have to result in him winning the game. That's not what matters. The fact is they jumped so far ahead, they had to be brought back to where the other players were instead of just having an equal game where everyone kind of takes off. So yeah, there's cards that are going to give you advantages. That's the point. That's why you build your deck the way you build it, to get card draw, get it going. One card, generic, colorless, goes in every deck, and there's no downside to playing it. Yeah, that's
It's like
No
top
good.
it's like top 10 Magic cards ever. Maybe number 1. We don't know. It's way up there. And in terms of like how good is Soul Ring and Manicrypt's up there too. Jeweled Lotus we would ban too. It's similar to those. This is less of a power ban and more of a deck diversity ban.
Yeah, Jewel Lotus is very good, but I don't think it's broken, and I don't think it's going to warp EDH format. I think the thing is, there's just so many commanders that want to play it, and it's so boring in that sense. If you have your commander and you want to turbo him out, this card is the best way to do that. There's nothing ever going to be better than this, because what could they ever print that would turbo out a commander better than this?
Yeah, they the professor summed it up pretty well. He said, what does this offer the format? What do we get? Who's excited for that? Who was excited for this? Who wanted this?
Yeah, exactly. I don't want it. I don't care about it. I just never would have printed it, and it's going to be in the format. Obviously, it won't be banned for a while if it is banned, because we know that they would wait, because they'd like to let it settle in the format, and I would do that too. Actually, I wouldn't ban Jewel. Like, say I was in control of the bans, I wouldn't ban it out the gate. I would let things settle down a little bit, because obviously everyone thinks it's broken right now,
and we would give a heads up. I think, like, hey, we're thinking about banning Jewel Lotus in 2 months.
Yeah, exactly. Next, Arcane Signal. I think this just has horrible design space. It goes in every deck. The only deck that doesn't go in is colorless, and then single color 2, 3, 4, and 5 color decks all love this card. The only reason it's non-green is more likely to want it.
Yeah.
This card is so stupid on in Brawl.
It's the best card in Brawl.
It's literally the best card in Brawl.
That is so dumb. People have said this is this just got printed to sell Brawl, the Throne of Eldraine Brawl decks,
Because it did.
because it's a staple, and maybe that's true. Gavin Verhey came out and said, yeah, this was a mistake, and that was before they printed Jewel Lotus. I'm just not sure they're learning about it. But if we were in charge, we don't care if they're learning or not, because we just ban all this stupid crap.
Yeah. Next one is a discussion piece more. Command Tower, I don't hate as much, because what Command Tower does is take up a land slot.
It is a free roll in your deck.
It is a free roll, and I do have problems with it, and I think it was a bad design to start, but it exists, and I don't think I'd ban it. But I think BZ would ban it, because he doesn't like those free spots, which I understand. But I think it exists, and mana can be expensive, and that's why I love having this 88-cent card that helps some lower, like some of the players that can't get the lands to fix their deck. It is very helpful in that case.
Yeah, it's just one card though. It's 1 out of 35. It's weird. I'm saying it's too many free roll spots, and then it's not enough free roll land spots to, really like, oh, my budget mana base. We did it now. I got Command Tower.
I just think it helps. And I like the difference between this and Arcane Signal is that's a spell slot. Spell slots are I don't think there should be any free roll spell slots, and I think lands is a little different. I think you can afford, because besides anything, you don't actually have as many free roll. You don't have as many slots and lands as you think. There's always a number of basics that has to be there.
Yeah, but if you're in 3 color, I think we've already got accidental free rolls like Mana Confluence and Cydia Brass and stuff.
Yeah, those cards are really good.
Like reprint those and ban Command Tower, I guess, right?
I think I just leave Command Tower, but I understand the discussion point that we're having.
So the next one, Joe would ban these, and I don't think I would. It's 6 cards: Vampiric Tutor, Enlightened Tutor, Vampiric Tutor, Enlightened Tutor, Mystical Tutor, Worldly Tutor, Demonic Tutor, and Imperial Seal.
And I don't know if there's more. I'd have to look into it more. I didn't put, like, those are like the quick ones that I know. Right off the top of my head, these cards are really good, and they sometimes just win games.
Tier 1 tutors.
They're absolutely all insanely strong and insanely good, and the fact that Vampiric Tutor is good should tell you how good it is, how good tutoring is, because it is card disadvantage. Mm-hmm. Straight up card disadvantage, and you lose life. It depletes resources, and it's still insane.
Top 20 cards in the format?
Top 20 cards of all time?
It's up there, yeah. That's probably true.
It's so good. I just think the tutors are inherently a big problem for EDH because they really lower the way that the games play out. If everyone's just always searching the deck and always getting the same 5 cards, then the same games are going to play out over and over again. One of our friends plays Razaketh in the command zone, and the games end up playing out super similar unless he forces it not to.
Yeah, and that's not interesting.
And that ends up feeling like, well, he's just making the game last longer when he could win. It's just like the problem is that's what tutors do. They always will do that, because when you play to win, which is when you sit down at EDH, is usually what you're doing. Even if you're playing for fun, you're still playing to win that game. When you do that, tutors, they don't get any card in your deck. They get 5 different cards. And that's the problem. It's not any card in your deck. It's one of the 5 best ones. And sometimes randomly it's going to also be a land.
Yeah, I love those. Those are fun. There is a drop-off point for tutors. Coveted Prize, Idyllic Tutor, those cards are not even close to broken. And I think that's the sweet spot for where I want. So I think by getting rid of the tier 1, like cream of the crop tutors that you can't really replace, that might make the format better. Because they are free rolls.
Exactly. I think Grim Tutor is right where I want a tutor to be. It costs 3 life, it costs 3 mana, and it just got reprinted. That's also perfect for that card.
Sorcery.
So helpful. Yep. Moving on. Walking Dead cards, we'd ban them. The simple fact is everyone wants them banned, and we don't really like them as a design. If they are reprinted, Reverse Godzilla, we mean, they have to be the same card, except for it's not Rick on it. In that case, we would unban them.
Snap unban.
Yeah, these cards aren't broken. They're good. I hate accessibility, and I don't like the way that these were handled personally.
Yeah, and if we ran a poll that's 96% of our people responded to saying they want these cards banned, well, I'd probably go ahead and listen to it. But we can move on.
I actually saw a really interesting thing in the comments of the Command Zones video about this.
What?
Because they mentioned in the video that this was dividing the community. It's like, no, it's not. There's not a divide in the community. There's the divide between the company and its patrons.
Like divide between Wizards and I don't know anyone was happy about it.
Yeah, exactly. The community was together. The community stood together and all disliked it.
I will say the dislike was not necessarily pointed in the right direction. I can say the rules committee made the wrong decision, but I don't dislike them. Don't point any hatred at the rules committee or freaking like Command Zone or Mark Rosewater. Like it's
that was a huge issue. Yeah, a lot of people like I did strongly dislike that Jimmy Wong and Josh Shaquai got like hate mail. Like literally just hated on. Like they're like let's just for the sake of argument here. I don't know the situation. Let's just pretend that they are completely sold out to Wizards. Whatever. I don't think they're completely sold out to Wizards. They obviously do stuff of their own volition. Let's just say that's the case. Okay, you know that then.
Yeah. What do you?
We know it, and we know that they work with Wizards often. Obviously, they're not going to be as critical Wizards. That's fine. It's just,
why are we sending them hate mail? Why are we not focusing on? I don't want to buy this product. Signing a petition or whatever. Like you can do internet things.
They did literally nothing wrong, and they don't do anything wrong. They give their opinions, and just because their opinion isn't to hate Wizards with you in that case, doesn't mean their opinion is wrong. It just means that you disagree with them, which you're allowed to disagree.
Yes, this is not a Walking Dead hate video. We can just.
Well, that was more of a.
Yeah, well, we had to mention.
That was more of a stop hating on people in the community that support something you don't. I mean, we're not talking about like
moral issues.
Yeah, exactly. We're not talking about moral issues. We're talking about a business decision that people disagree with.
Yeah, that will not kill the game, I promise. Next is Gaia's Cradle, and for me, more than Joe, I think Cabal Coffers. I hate these cards. They're stupid. They're automatic free rolls, and they not only free rolls, I think, like, let's say, what was the other one we said that was a free roll? Like Soul Ring. These warp your deck as much as that, if not more. Not only does it warp the slot it's in, but there's like 3 or 4 slots now where you're like, oh, well, I'll spend some mana to get a freaking Gaia's Cradle in my hand. Let's go. Let's play Expedition Map. Let's play Sylvan Scrying. Let's play Crop Rotation. You just play them because slow Gaia's Cradle is still busted.
Yeah, Gaia's Cradle is 110%. Maybe other than Necropotence, I think the most bannable card in this format. I don't even see why it's in here. It is busted. It's so insanely good.
Let's add to the fact it's on the reserve list. There's no more Gaia's Cradles. It's going to be accessible. It's 5 years from now. I don't know what that card's going to be. How is that not accessibility?
Yeah, it just hit $1,000. Yeah. The card is $1,000. It is not accessible to anybody anymore.
Yeah, if you want the Judge promo, it's $2,000.
Completely silly.
And I hate stupid Cabal Coffers. I think it dumpster fires all over every mono black deck. You don't get it. Like the Cabal Coffers, I think is for deck diversity. It's worse. It takes up 30 slots in your deck now because you have to play these stupid swamps or you have to force out Urborg this. And maybe we could hold off if we're chucking out the black tutors that are going to get it every 5 seconds, but there's still too many fair tutors that are going to get this thing.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Cabal Coffers, but I don't know if I'd ban it.
I think you're coming around. The more we play against it, and I go, well, what is the mono black player? What is the Orzhov player or the Mardu player? What am I going to tutor for in my black deck? It's Cabal Coffers
every time.
Yeah.
Next, easy ban for me. Saracen, it's a 6 mana, or sorry, it's a 1 mana 6/6 flyer with lifelink.
It's high variance and it's not compatible with the format. I don't like late game. This is nothing, but you feel bad when you draw because you had to put it in your deck because turn 1s through 5, it's just a random beater that's going to deal 30 damage or even 12 damage.
Every swing is a 12-point life swing. Every single attack with this card. That's completely silly.
It just doesn't fit in the format. It's not busted. It's not going to... It very rarely wins games by itself, but I just don't think it belongs. If you can't errata it, which they can't, because it says specifically 35, right? Or 30. If you can't errata it, just get rid of it. We're losing nothing. No one's going to cry because Saracen is banned.
Yeah, I don't know. Who doesn't want this card banned?
Well, they'll come out of the woodwork when it gets banned, but as far as I know...
Yeah. Next, we already talked about it, and we'll just go over it quick. Hulk, I think this is a huge issue. This card is basically unstoppable. It just needs to resolve, and I don't like that. And it's easy to cheat into play. And once it's not just, oh yeah, it's not like, wow, like RuneScar Beacon is easy to cheat and play. But okay, this wins the game whenever you do it.
Yeah, if it's up there with Necropotence and Cradle in this tier where you feel like one card does that. Man, this doesn't feel like it gels with the rest of the format. I will add a bonus one that I forgot about until you said wins by itself. I would probably ban Expropriate. I hate that card. It doesn't do anything. It requires no building, no deck diversity. You can play it in any blue deck if you want. And I've never really seen it lose a game or not win.
Yeah, I don't think I would ban it, but I understand the argument, and
I play against it more than you. I think it tanks every game it's cast in.
It's really good. I think because I cast it and it does win a lot, but it doesn't win as much as BZ says it does.
It ends the game functionally. Like, I don't want to play anymore.
That's fair. I mean, yeah, making you not want to play is different. And
I think saltily I gave you an extra turn just to make sure it ended the game because somebody said it wasn't going to.
Yeah, somebody did that.
Not my proudest moment, but I was mad.
Yeah, BZ
not anymore. I don't get salty anymore.
Yeah, BZ doesn't like Expropriate. And last of all, we have Sensei's Dividing Top. This one is just, I think this is auto-include nonsense. I don't like this card at all. And on top of that, it is not a fast card to play.
It's very slow.
I just don't. This card, to me, is just an easy ban. There's not any reason to keep it around. It's just I don't see the advantages of keeping it around. Honestly,
I have played against you enough times. We've played. We grinded out 1,000,000 1v1 games with our old decks. It was just Carador versus Maelstrom Wanderer and over and over. And then you would have top, right? And I crush your early board, and then now you're top decking. But you have Sensei's Dividing Top. So you go, all right, upkeep, spin, because what else am I supposed to do? And it's not like I'm mad at somebody for doing that. That's their only option, so they should do it. But it's going to take 5 minutes because they have to go, all right, spin, 1, 2, 3, let's see. Hold on. So if I drew this for turn, this is my next card. I could, at any point, crack the top to then draw a second card, putting top on top. Do I then want to draw top, or do I want to shuffle my library? All right, so I figured it out, and I'm going to take this card, and it's going to draw me 2 more cards. Now my top 3 cards are different. Spin the top, and then you start over.
Yeah, top has been one of the main reasons for top's banning in almost every format is that
legacy events were just going to time because the card was in the tournament.
Yeah. What was the Counterbalance?
Miracles and Counterbalance.
Yeah, Miracles is the name of the deck. Counterbalance is the other card it combos with. Yeah, just easy ban for me. I think the card is boring. I think realistically, if you're playing a super optimized deck, this is just an auto include.
Yeah, they do stress, we want to keep the ban list as tight as possible, but I think with some of these recent cards that have been coming out that are the auto includes, and I think that we missed the boat on banning Soul Ring, but I wouldn't really worry about that. That's like sunk cost fallacy to me. And some of the bans that we think should just be on there, like if Time Twister was on, doesn't count as a card we're adding. I think that just maybe an oversight or something. But we would ban, I don't know, how many cards are we banning? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 24 cards. I think, but the Walking Dead ones are tentative.
Yeah, and I think the main reason for all these bans is diversity, accessibility, in cards that absolutely warp games.
I think the format gets I think with these bans, every game gets a number percentage better, like 1 or 2 or 5, 10% better.
I don't know. I wouldn't even, something that I would consider banning just for the sake of, I've talked about this before, and it's not like I would be like, yeah, this needs a ban. Is fetch lands? I think they're such insanely good fixing.
I think if there was some other format that you had that was like 1v1, you would love to ban fetch lands from there.
If to be honest, if I'm being completely honest, I would just ban fetch lands and everything. One, they take up way too much time.
They are a time waster.
They take up way too much time, and I think they're way too good of insane fixing. And there's a shuffle, and there's other stuff. There's so many things that fetch lands do, and I just don't like fetch lands. I play fetch lands because they're very good, and I'm going to play them in my good decks, especially a landfall deck that I have. But I am not a fan of them.
One last one to throw at you, which will probably be one of the most... We want you to suggest cards you think should be banned or unbanned. This one's going to be thrown out for sure. Cyclonic Rift. Where would you stand? I don't think we would ban it.
No, see, I think I would.
You would?
Because I want the format to be as fun as possible. And to be realistic, this card is soft. I bet you this card is soft banned in more groups than it is allowed in.
This is actually one of the only cards I've ever not put in a deck for fun purposes, where I'm like, I'm trying to build this cool deck, and we have like 7 rifts or whatever from RTR days.
No, we have a ton.
We just picked them up for like $2, and now but it's like, I just won't play it. I'll make my deck actively worse, which kind of feels bad, but then I have more fun, and it's just weird that I could be playing this card, but I'm not because it's not fun.
I might be taking it out. I don't know if I did yet. I was looking at taking it out of Omnath.
Yeah, I have a couple blue decks. It's just not in there. It should be.
It's just a lame card.
You think it's up there with the tier 1, like for one card, like Cradle, Necrobones, Ascendant type weird stuff? Or
no, I think it's more in the tier of. I think it's in the fun tier.
Maybe it's in the like Gifts Ungiven tier or the Iona tier.
I think it's in the. I think if it's perfectly in with Iona, where it's just like it's not fun, and that one's always not fun for everybody. Things that people don't realize about that card or think about when they're saying it should be banned. It's a board wipe. Okay, it removes everything on the field. Obviously, it doesn't permanently answer anything, but more often than not, this is going to result in players having to discard. So now it's just a removal spell. It's a card advantage spell.
Yep.
It's so much more than just a board wipe.
Sorcery speed, this gets way different. I don't know if it's banned at sorcery. That makes it a lot worse. Because now the first half is terrible instead of being, it's fine in emergency, and then the second half is like, it's about as good as like Winds of Abandon.
I think that card is probably unplayable like that.
It's just way worse.
Yeah. But that's our video. Thanks to all of our patrons. Oh, man. It was a big month last night. Thanks to all the new patrons and all the old patrons alike.
It was a big month last night.
Last month. Last month was a big month for Patreon. Oh, my goodness. Thank you all. But I don't want to... I have so much work to do. I have so many pins to send out.
Pins, cards, generous patron cards. Some people got Commander tune-ups to do in the near future.
We do have a Commander
at least one of those.
But I saw that and I was like, oh no.
It's coming. Big storm coming.
It's a lot of writing to do.
Let us know what cards you would ban or unban. I want to have discussions in the comment sections. Actual discussion, I guess we should preface.
What do you mean?
I don't know if you just want to call me ugly. You can also do that, but I won't respond with anything other than the poop emoji. Because I have to get the algorithm to see that I responded. Yeah,
I've been trying to. I was going back to our unplayable cards video and I was responding to people, and I tried to have conversation, and instead they.
Sometimes you just can't. I don't want to shout anybody out.
I'm not shouting anyone out, but there's a comment in there. Where if you want to go find it, you can, obviously. Where I'm just like, hey, where they say basically, we don't have talent or charisma, and I'm like, hey, it's or because we use clickbait. I'm like, well, yeah, it is part of our jobs here as content creators to get people to click on our video, and sometimes we might overstep a bound. But regardless, even if we do or don't, it doesn't matter. We're still trying to get people to click our video, and doing clickbaity things is helpful to us. It actively benefits us and helps us to profit. We make these stuff for you guys to watch and for you to enjoy because we love putting out our opinions and we love having you guys watch. But in the end, we also have bills to pay. We are here to try and make a little bit of money at least.
I'm chiming in because I disagree with you on clickbait. Clickbait is when you promise something that you do not deliver on. That's what the bait is. Then it's just click. Getting you to click is not a crime if I deliver the information that you seek, because every single person on YouTube is trying to get their video to stand out from everyone else. That's a given. So by promising something and then delivering it, which let's use that example, 20 unplayable cards, genuine actual thought that we have, still hold it. You got what you clicked for. You can disagree, which is totally fine. That's just where the issue came, I think. But anyway, positive comments only. Try to be a positive force in the universe.
You don't have to be a positive comment. You're allowed to give us criticism.
That's positive. Constructive criticism is positive.
Oh, I guess I wasn't considering. Yeah, you're allowed to be. you're allowed to say things like, I don't think you guys did this or handled this right. It's helpful. Those comments in the past have helped us get to where we are.
That part where you talked about the unplayable cards again was too long. Like, we'll consider it.
Yeah, exactly.
You can go to the TCG player link. I'll link all the cards we ban, and you can buy them before they get banned when we inevitably we absorb the rules committee and fire everyone else.
Yeah, we're gonna hit them with a Stone Cold Stunner.
Yeah, we're gonna hit Sheldon Menery with a virtual Stone Cold Stunner.
Nope, I'm gonna hit him.
You invented the format. Get out of here.
We're hit him with the Stunner, and what else could we do?
Rock Bottom.
Tombstone.
Pile Driver.
The People's Elbow, which is the weakest move in all of wrestling, and somehow is a finisher.
Yeah, not actually assaulting anyone. These are metaphorical wrestling moves.
Yeah, metaphorical wrestling.
On the rules committee as an entity.
Yeah, we're assaulting an entity that
we're assaulting. That was a tidbit where we're gonna attack entities. I don't know. We're done, right?
Yeah. Peace out, Tribe Scout. What?
I don't know.